What's up, Internet? You're tuning in episode 174 of Nintendo Noise, Slipscreen Games' weekly Nintendo podcast. I'm your host, Pete and Bessie, joined today by my very good friends and co-hosts, Miss Sierra Plus Ultra.
Good morning.
And Mr. Ken Hicks.
What it do?
Welcome back, Sierra. Good to have you back on the show.
Yeah, it's almost, we're almost done with February.
I know. I literally,
back.
when you and I connected about this week, I was like, holy shit, she hasn't been on the show all year yet.
I know.
It's crazy. It's absolutely
Sorry about
crazy.
that, everybody.
Hey, you've been busy. You've been doing Rockstar stuff. It's all good. But
Thanks.
you got it here for the important stuff. It's Pokemon Day 2025, February 27th. Of course, I brought all the Pokemon Masters from our panel here to discuss everything we saw today. We did a live watch along, which you can go catch over on YouTube if you didn't get to come and hang out with us live in the chat. It was a great time over there. So, you want to go and watch us live react to everything, you can go check that out. But here, we're going to get into the nitty gritty. We'll offer our opinions a little bit, and we'll get into some of the lingering questions after some of the announcements we got today. So let's try to do this how we've been doing these last couple. We'll go roughly in order. We literally are coming right off the live stream, so I'm working. We don't have an official press release and everything yet. So if the order gets a little jumbled, we're doing our best to remember something that
we're doing it raw.
Yeah, and at least two of us have ADHD. So the idea that we're going to remember things in order, let's give us a little bit of grace. So first announcement that I remember anyway was that we got news that new episodes of Pokemon Concierge are going to be coming to Netflix on September 2025, and that you'll be able to watch the first 4 episodes of the show on YouTube for free until the first or second week of March. I forget the exact date, but you got a couple weeks. This is really great. I know Sierra and I loved the first season. We reviewed it here on the show, and we thought it was really cute, really charming. Definitely a show I'm happy to see get more made. I think, that stop motion animation is just so awesome and beautiful.
Yeah, and not for nothing, when it comes to stop motion animation, I know that takes a lot of time and effort to even create.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
So they already announced season 2. But I'm shocked and surprised we're getting it this year. Because didn't season 1 just come out last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, was that just last year? Jeez.
Yeah, it's been an entire eternity. Let me see, Pokemon.
And granted, I mean the episodes are shorter, so it's it makes sense, I guess, that you could get a batch done in a quicker clip. But I'm just as surprised as you are. I remember when you and I reviewed it, Sierra. I think we were both like, "Man, I would love more of this, but it's probably going to take a while." Because
Pokemon Company was like, "Heard, all right, we will do it expeditiously."
Actually, I was wrong. It came out in 2023, but
that's
December
what I thought.
28th.
Really?
2023.
It was the end of the year, though. Okay.
Like 3 days left in the year, so almost 2024.
Yeah, we probably reviewed it in
time goes
2024. We probably talked about it in January, but yeah.
Yeah, but
I thought that show was
still a
really
quick
great.
turnaround.
I'm so down for as much of that story as they have left to tell.
Yeah, I guess if you're a studio that specializes in stop motion like they do, they've probably figured out all the tips and tricks to ramp up production quickly.
Yeah, and maybe with a bigger IP like Pokemon, right? That probably led to a bit of an influx of cash for the studio. So maybe they were able to scale up and bring more people on to make the turnaround a little bit quicker since there's so much demand. But yeah, this is great. I thought this was a really cool announcement to kick things off with.
Yeah. They start off with the immaculate vibes and then immediately went into mobile slop.
Hey, we like Pokemon TCG Pocket.
I mean, well, I was thinking about Cafe Remix, but
hey, I also like Cafe Remix. I like the
All
idea of
Ken out here. I like the idea of it. I don't know that I play it, but I will
forget to play it
every
all the
time we
time,
watch
but
one
I
of these.
that it's there.
It's very funny. Every time we watch one of these trailers, I'm like, "You play this game, right?" And you're like, "No, I want to though." I said I might try it.
We
and
need
then
to continue the tradition, I think.
it's the #1 game that I think would be cool to try. So yeah, we got some new items in that. We got there was a new dish in that, some new outfits and stuff. There was another update for Pokemon Unite. They're adding Suicune, Alolan Raichu, and Alcremie all in 2025. And then they like talked about some new game modes and stuff. I don't know if those were new for 2025 or if they're just like these are things that are new for players that have maybe not paid attention since the last Pokemon Presents, but
or if there are things that are in the Chinese version of the game. Because like when they launched it in China late last year, they did add a few new modes and a few new features.
So maybe those just like haven't been as publicized, or maybe they are just making their way over here to the West.
Yeah. It actually was quite significant, the stuff they added. It was almost like Pokemon Unite 2.0 when it came out in China. But to be fair, I am not a Pokemon Unite expert. Everything I get is off of YouTube.
I really enjoyed that game when we played it. I played it for a while when it first came out, but we were talking about it. It's like, I'd be down to try it again. Maybe get back into it. Maybe we'll do a stream or something.
Hey, I'm here for it.
So I love a good MOBA. I really do. And we gotta like redeem ourselves because in that stream we did not win even a single game. And
I know.
Not to point fingers, but I think Steve was the weak link. So
you see what happens when you don't invite me to a Pokemon stream.
It's what I needed.
You lose.
Obviously, we needed a man in a Snorlax costume. So let's get into the next one. Pokemon Champions, right? Is that like trainer based mobile game, right? And they have 2 new trainers coming to that are like that have the Omega forms of Groudon and Kyogre. So we got that going. And then now we get into the stuff that the three of us want to talk about. This is the meaty stuff. So Pokemon TCG Pocket, we got another update coming for that. That's going to be live tomorrow. It's in Arceus themed or Arceus themed, depending on how you pronounce that. Themed booster packs. It's called Triumphant Light. And they showed off a couple new cards. Ooh, whoop, I got to mute that tab. Oh my God. I'm trying to play the trailer. Sorry. So, yeah, who were the new ones aside from Arceus? We saw a new Raichu. There's an
unknown card in there.
There's a Crobat. There was a new Rotom, Abomasnow, Tyranitar.
There was a Tyranitar, yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, I said Tyranitar at the same time that you said Tyranitar.
Okay. And then is that Carnivine, I think, too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are all the rares anyway that we saw. And a Magnezone as well. Yeah.
Also, like it flashed on the screen for only like literally half a second, but aside from the free booster packs, because they're giving us 3 free packs, ranked matches are coming at the end of March in the game.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It literally flashed for 2 seconds. I feel like they should have.
I missed that completely.
It's funny because I missed the booster pack thing, and I was like, "Oh, what happened with that?" And as that was happening, I was reading the ranked. Yeah, it feels like they could have slowed those cards down a little bit to give us that information a little bit.
Yeah, like the present was only 19 minutes. They could have made it 20 minutes and 30
just
seconds.
Just to not make those like blink and you miss it. It's like, whoa, what? Like I need all that information. The other card that they showed there was a Garchomp EX as well. That was one of the other ones that they showed off. And then there was 2 trainer cards that they showed. I'm like slowly going through it so I can read them. There's Adaman, who during your opponent's next turn, all your Pokemon take minus 20 damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. And then there's Iridia, who looks like it's heal 40 damage from each Pokemon that has any water energy attached, which is going to be huge for my water deck. I love that.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then there's a Leafeon EX and a Glaceon EX as well. I missed those the first time. Jeez.
Yeah, me too. How did I like my eyes were glued to the screen. I did not look away.
I think it was just so like blinking, like it was just so much came so quickly.
So I just paused it at the perfect moment so I could read what the Tyranitar card does. It says, if you have an Arceus or Arceus EX in play, attacks used by this Pokemon do 30 more damage.
Wow, that's going to be dirty.
The synergy of Tyranitar and Arceus is going to be nuts.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's sick. Honestly, anything to take. I need to come back on for a separate episode about Pokemon TCG because I have many gripes about the current meta.
Dude, I'm so ready to hear you talk about the meta. I've been like getting so much life from the clips from your Twitch stream of you just being like, all right, so this, like that when you posted the other day, you're like, all right, this is a Celebi deck, so here's what's probably gonna happen. Then it's like, son of a bitch.
I hate how this game has made me hate one of my favorite legendaries. I love the Onion Fairy.
Here's the thing.
I don't want to hate the Onion Fairy.
What we got to try to do now, Sierra, is we got to do a Wolf Glick where we got to try to figure out what's anti-meta. If that's meta, how do we pick something that's anti-meta?
Oh my god, you're so right.
It only exists to counter what everybody else is playing.
So I picked a counter deck. I don't want to get too off topic. I did pick a deck that in my eyes was a counter, and like all I see when I look at meta lists is like, nope, Celebi Executor #1. So we got to figure this shit out.
We got to come up with a OP fire deck that just dismantles what that deck does.
So how do you feel about Darkrai decks?
That's so annoying. They do all the damage from the bench, but it's clever. It's not like Celebi where it's like brain empty. Sorry, anybody listening as a Celebi player. Brain empty. Just like
play 2 cards and then win.
And then win.
well, you can't forget. You also have to flip a coin like 30 times.
That is true, but you know,
you gotta make sure you got a minimum like 6 energies, then the superior, then you got 12 energies because you never know like what they want to get all kills. You just gotta. Like, no, it's so unfair.
It's really funny. I had a moment the other day that gave me like a perverse amount of pleasure when I was playing against the Celebi deck and they had 6 energies and they all failed and then I won and I was like, it's like, fuck you.
Yes.
Awesome. Truly a good time.
So real quick, before we move on from this topic.
I was going to say, I want to read the last couple cards here. So
yeah, every card is like, if you have an Arceus or Arceus EX in play, X, Y, and Z. Like Abomasnow has one of those.
All
things.
of them, really. That's interesting.
Rotom. If you have Arceus in play,
I think there's some like Gen 4 lore that I'm missing. Here.
Like why? I mean, he's
God. Like it might just be that, right? Like it's just like he's the god of Pokemon. So the idea that like, you know, they're like his acolytes or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, there's a beautiful shaman alt art that I see in this.
Nice.
I can't really read it.
But that's interesting, though. I like the idea of having multiple cards that react to the EX card because then I feel like you might end up in a world where there are like multiple viable styles of Arceus deck depending on which other Pokemon you add to it rather than like to your point, Sierra, about like the Celebi deck or like the Mewtwo deck where it's like it's all based around 2 cards, right? It's like it's Gardevoir and Mewtwo. It's Superior and Celebi. Like if maybe, you know, like maybe that is a style of deck where it's like, oh, like every deck has Arceus, right? But like I'm using the Tyranitar thing because I want to spread high amounts of damage very quickly, or like I'm using, you know, one of these support cards because I want to use Arceus for attacks or whatever, and I want to use these cards to keep it healthy or whatever. Interesting. I think that could potentially be a way to like break up
the meta.
Yeah, like what decks have the most usage, right? Because like obviously there are always going to be certain things that are like mathematically, you know,
better,
more productive. Yeah, right, exactly.
More consistent,
or more efficient. Yeah, any of those. Like that's what you do in a TCG or something like that. Like you try to minimize randomness, right? So that you can consistently have a win condition appear. And if there is like, you know, the ability to have like, say, even 3 or 4 different types of Arceus deck, that makes it so much more competitively interesting, right? When like Sierra's streaming and she jumps into a game and somebody plays an Arceus, it's like, okay, what are you doing? Not, oh, it's a cell. Okay, this is what you're doing. Great. 3 turns from now, you're going to play this. You're going to play that. You're going to play this. And it just takes all the fun out of it, right? When you know exactly what they're going to do. And there's not really a great way to predict around it either, right? Because it's just like, I have the deck I have, right?
Yeah.
So
and you have to do like dumb maneuvers like, oh, I can't play my win condition until like I know that I will be able to attack without risk of getting taken out by the Celebi. Like you want to go after like Celebi's been put out and it's not like a risk to then go in and deal damage.
Yeah, I mean, like anytime I come up against one with my, because like my water deck, I I have Blastoise EX and then Starmie EX is like the two major damage sources. And it's like anytime I come up against a Celebi deck, it is always like me having a Blastoise on my bench that I'm feeding water until I can get to the boost so that I can one-shot it and kill it. And it's like just switching around all my other EX cards to chump damage until I can be like, great, now I can put this out and wipe the floor with you. Otherwise I lose, you know?
Yeah.
Yo, like you have to add Vaporeon to that deck.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
I want to get Vaporeon in there. I mean, I'm probably going to add
you're not running
this.
Vaporeon? I'm shocked.
Yeah, well, I got used to not running it because I didn't have enough to get it in the deck. So like the way that I have gotten around that is just using Misty cards, but they're too random. It's like it's just not consistent enough. When it works, it's great, you know, but like it's like a 50-50 shot on whether you're going to get anything out of it, you know.
Now that they added trading though, just like hit me up. I think I have like multiple.
Please, that would be great because I just have not been lucky enough to get the ones I need. And I try to save up my points to buy EX cards that I don't have. So
I have not pulled a single Aerodactyl.
I have like 3, so
really?
Let's do this. Let's
not
trade.
one.
I have too many.
What's crazy is that I got the gold. Was it Mew or Celebi? Mew, and I got the immersive rare Celebi, but I haven't even gotten a single Aerodactyl. It's crazy.
I had that problem. I didn't get a single regular Celebi EX. I had to trade Doc for that because I just didn't pull one. And like
I don't think I have one either. I'm missing a lot of rares.
I pulled multiple of the full arts too. Like I have the Mew, Aerodactyl, and Celebi full art cards, but never got a basic one. I was like, are you kidding me?
I think I have like 7 of the Pikachu immersive.
I never got a regular superior either. Like I have the special fancy one. I have 4 of them, but I never got a regular one. It's like ridiculous.
That's funny. Yeah, it's weird.
It's crazy how that happens. I have like 6 Gengar EXs, and I never got a regular Gengar, which is bizarre. Anyway, so the last couple like just informational cards, just to give everybody the data here, is you're gonna get special booster packs of the like original set, the Genetic Apex, Charizard, Mewtwo, Pikachu, and you'll get at least one guaranteed card of the 4 diamond rarity or higher. So that's great. They'll be available today up until April 30th, so you can go grab those. And then, like Ken said, we have ranked matches coming at the end of March. So that's one of the kind of like last major pieces of functionality that we've been waiting for the game, right? Is to get live ranked, or ranked battles, right? Like right now it's all just events, right? And the emblems and stuff like that. So being able to have like a proper tree, I think is, that's what any good competitive game should be building towards, right? Is having some kind of ladder, and it'll be interesting. I think especially now, like a couple sets in, when most people that have been playing have like a couple thousand cards and hopefully have a couple viable decks that are competitive. I don't tend to be lucky enough to pull the cards that you need for the highest ranking competitive decks, but I sure have all the full art cards, which is fun.
And that's the cool thing about this game. Like, do you want to build a competitive deck, or do you want to just collect the cool cards?
Yeah, and for me, like collecting is more the goal than it is like ranking on the ladder. But like, I would like to have more viable decks. But, that's what you said. Trading's a thing now. So I think now that we kind of have completed that triumvirate of like we have. Oh, what do you got? Pulling up your fancies. It's too blurred out. You got your back. Okay. All right. There we go. What do you got? Give me your rare. You get 1. What do we got?
Like, you got me. You got me hype. Oh wait, I gotta do this. And just yep, and then do that.
Okay, we got a Woobat.
Nothing.
Helioptile, Golduck, Slowpoke, Mewtwo.
Nice.
All right.
Nothing. But wait. We can.
Hey,
we
that
can run
Mewtwo's
this
good
back.
trade fodder.
Trade fodder. Yo, I got one more on me. Because it wasn't the Mewtwo EX. It was just like the other Mewtwo.
The base one. But that's the thing. You get rid of that one, you trade that for the currency,
All right, let's run this back.
What you got?
Let me see. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh, okay, cool. Swoop. All right, I think there's something.
Get to the rare.
Nope.
Articuno.
Nope. Articuno.
Nah, not the best.
open up the app, open up your 2 packs, right? Then you do a wonder pick, you get nothing, and you close the app.
That's right. Yeah, that's my right.
That is
Or
the
Universal
gameplay loop.
yeah, or you get your one cool card, and you're like, oh, nice. All right, close it.
Yeah.
Oh, I just leveled up because of those packs. Let's go. Let's see. I
Nice,
have 201 hourglasses. I'm ready for the new set.
You are hourglass rich. All right,
man.
so then we got the two big chunks that I want to get into, right? Is our biggest announcement of the day is Pokemon Champions, which is going to be coming to Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android. And this is a huge one. This is a game that, like, I think anybody that's into competitive play, anybody that, has wanted to get into competitive play, has been asking for, right? This is Nintendo's kind of, whether you want to say it's their take on Pokemon Showdown to some degree, or if it's like kind of an evolution of the Pokemon Stadium formula. But essentially, it's a new game that you'll be able to connect with Pokemon Home, and any of the Pokemon that you have in Home will be able to be pulled into your teams for champions. And it's going to be a game that's completely based around like proper competitive battling. And yeah, I mean, this is
which I love.
So exciting. And there's a lot of implications based on the trailer. Like they showed off gimmicks from multiple generations. So it raises the question, like, is this going to be a new format of competitive and like everything goes and you can use Pokemon from any generation? Is it going to be generation based where you can do like, Gen 5 rules and we're using Megas? Gen 9 was it? With the Giant Boys? Doesn't matter.
No, the Giant Boys was Gen 8, I want to say. Gen 9 is what we're in right now, right?
Gotcha.
I want to say.
I think that's right. Yeah, because the next one's 10. So yeah, like, that's an interesting question. Because, like, in Pokemon Showdown, there is a mode called Anything Goes where you can use... There are just no rules. Like, you can use multiple of a Pokemon. You can use Megas. You can, whatever, right? Or, like, is it going to be, like, tiered in some way, right? Where there's generation battles or whatever.
If I were to guess, now granted, they didn't give us a lot of info. They gave us a cool trailer, and it's going to be on the Switch and mobile devices, which is kind of cool.
Wild.
Yeah, I think that's so sick. By the way, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, because that's my favorite way to play Showdown. Is like on my phone, just jumping into a battle and doing a quick, 1v1, doing a random battle, whatever. Yeah, this is so cool.
Yeah, so the cool thing with this is that you can link it with your Pokemon Bank to battle that way. And you mentioned multiple gimmicks. I really only see 2 in the
but they're from different generations. So like that's the question.
But they're it's Mega Evolutions, which is coming out in ZA, and Terrestrialization, which is like the current.
Right, but that's my whole point. Is there's never been a generation where they're both active at the same time.
I'm trying to think. Were there Mega Evolutions in Sun and Moon? Maybe not. No, really? Okay.
There
were.
There were, I think, but that was the gimmick that generation was
Z moves.
That too, yeah, that was the thing.
I hate Z moves so much.
I actually don't remember though, because I feel like Megas did exist in one game past when they were introduced. Oh no, so that's right, because it would have been 5 when they were in Gen 6. So then Gen 7 is Sun and Moon, and that's where they're gone, and we get Z moves. I think Sarah. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So then that's to my point, right there. I don't think there's ever been a standard generation of play where you could use more than one gimmick at a time. And that's not to say that this is insinuating that. It's just like it could be, right? Because to your point, it showed 2 different ones, which is something.
At that point, though, it's kind of like, what's the point of this game, right? Is it just to have like a Wild West of fun? Or is it meant to be a tool for the incredibly blooming competitive scene?
I mean, I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. Like, you could easily have, like I said, like different, like this is how it works in Showdown, right? Where it's like, if you want to play a battle, you go and choose what style of battle you want to do, and then you go and enter the queue, right? So like, if I was like, I want to do Gen 9 OU right? Or doubles, or UU, or if I want to do Little Cup, or if I want to do, I could go and play Gen 1, I could go play Gen 3, and like you can jump into whatever, you know, competitive format you're trying to play. I doubt it'll be that detailed, but I think if you were going to have, like, say, a competitive ladder, like this is the modern competitive format, this is what they're currently playing in VGC, right? Like that could be a ladder, and then you could have an anything goes ladder. Like there's no reason you couldn't have more than one. Or like I'm sure there will be like unranked battles if you just want to do casual play, right? And things like that. So like I don't think it has to all be one game mode. My question is, will there be an anything goes mode? And if that's the case, is that something we might see them implement in tournaments moving forward, right? Because all the tournaments are based around modern VGC format, right? And we don't have singles. We don't have, you know, like gimmick stuff like Little Cup and shit like that. This could be an avenue for starting to introduce other forms of, to your point, right? As the competitive scene grows and there is more interest in watching people play, like we already have like age brackets and stuff, right? Like they have like the juniors, and I could see them having like
a necessity.
anything goes.
Yo, if they didn't have age brackets, could you just imagine Wolf Glick just like stomping on a 12-year-old?
Yeah, that's probably what
I
would happen.
defeated a 9-year-old and I did it.
Look, these are the rules of Pokemon. If you want to be the very best, you have to be able to beat adults.
That is true. That is the ethos of Ash Ketchum's journey.
Right?
Yeah.
My man is 10. He beat several people in their 30s, 40s, or older, you know?
Yeah.
He's beaten adults that have been taxpayers for at least 15 years. So that the reason I bring that up is that I think this could take a few different shapes. I think any version of it is interesting and exciting, but there's some questions left based on that trailer that I think are pretty interesting.
I think it's so, I mean, like, can I just say, this is not a criticism nor a compliment, but it's like really interesting to me that like there's the whole emulation thing, and then there's like Pokemon Showdown, and Pokemon Company was like, we could put the ROMs online, or we can develop an entirely new game to answer Pokemon Showdown, and like that's so funny to me. Like more work is involved to create a Pokemon Showdown versus
and
just upload Gen 1 through 3.
and at the end of the day too, right? It's like Pokemon Showdown's still going to be the go-to for any competitive player, because you can create any Pokemon you want, test it out without having to like grind a Pokemon. If I were to guess with this based off the trailer, they might have rental teams. They might have, they'll definitely have a way for you to move the Pokemon from your main game to this one.
I think
train your team.
I think the rental teams and stuff is a really interesting thing, because if that exists, this could be a tool that exists to teach people how to play competitive. You know, and be like, this is how EVs work. This is how IVs work. This is how you build a team. Like, this is how you this is what a lead Pokemon is. This is what setup is. This is, like, this is what a sweeper is. And like, you could explain, like the nitty gritty of like how to play against another person that actually knows how to play the game, rather than AI that's, tuned to be beatable by a child, And I think that could be a really powerful tool. And I think the other thing that the competitive community could get out of this that like Showdown can achieve is that this could be used for preliminaries, right? Because right now the only way to qualify for events is to go somewhere and qualify. And if you live somewhere that's more remote, then maybe this is like a path for to get you in without having to go to a tournament.
They do have officially run online Pokemon tournaments by Nintendo. They're not as common or as frequent as like the regionals, but they do have that. And I think that if you win one, or if you come in the top whatever, you do get points towards
qualifying.
Yeah,
because you need to compete in a certain number of events before you're able to qualify for like Worlds or any of those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's
so
sort of like if
this
you
could
win,
this could be a way to simplify that.
Yeah. It's like if you win a regional, you're at least this year you automatically get an invite to Worlds if you win like one regional. Wolf Glick took 3 of them this year.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's like, I think that could be a really easy way to expand the player base. And it's like, if you were going to go compete in like a higher level tournament, that's something that would be reasonable to travel for. But like, you know, if you just want to go qualify, it's like, that's a high, and like, that's the thing I've thought about doing. I would love to go compete in a Worlds event. And they used to do qualifying events in Philly. They don't do them anymore. Now the closest ones are all, you know, 3-hour drive away.
DC,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Orlando. Everything is in Orlando.
Yeah, right. It's like it's all down south now, and it's like there's not even. I don't even think they do them in New York anymore. So it's like if that was a thing, if they were still doing them in Philly, I would be going and trying to qualify. But I'm not gonna travel 6 hours to maybe, you know, whereas like if I can jump online during like hey, this weekend we're doing a tournament and you can get in a heat and compete, then I probably would do that. And then if I advanced, obviously I'd go travel for an event where I'm actually, you know, a competitor.
If you want to be a competitive Pokemon player, you have to be good and you have to have money.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it, but that is what it is.
Or time.
Money and time, yeah. Unless you just like so happen to live in like the right place, and
like if you live in an area where there are qualifiers, then obviously you don't have this problem. But there are so many people that play that don't. So yeah, overall very interesting. An announcement I'm super excited to learn more about, and definitely a game that I'll be playing for sure. So we talked about this a little bit on the stream. I want to just like throw this to you one more time before we move on. Sierra, does like this release do anything for your interest in like trying to take the plunge? Because I know like you've talked about it, like you've said that you have an interest in it, but like it's super intimidating. Like there's so many things you need to like learn to get started, and like I think that's the thing that turns most people off. Do you think if there was like this game comes out and there's like some kind of like, you know, tutorial or rental teams or something that you can use to kind of like start learning the game in the same way that like TCG Pocket kind of like teaches you fundamentals as you're going, right? Before you get to the higher level of play. Is that like something that you think would be beneficial to you taking the plunge, or does it still feel like, I don't know?
Yeah, I think that I would definitely like try it just to understand fundamentals, but realistically, I might be like a special case, but like I'm still not gonna be able to justify the time investment. Like, and what doesn't help is like now I have Pocket. I don't know what it is, but the competitive, like the time investment on Pocket is less daunting to me somehow than VGC. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
it makes perfect sense.
I think it does.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
Because the other thing is, yeah, like I'm not gonna have my Switch with me in most scenarios. If I'm waiting in line at the DMV, I can whip out my phone. I mean, if I had a big enough bag, maybe I would have my Switch with me. But
I mean,
like,
this will be on Android though. Don't forget.
Okay, you're right there. But like,
so like the big thing with VGC versus Pocket, you can just open up a couple of packs, call it a day. With like VGC, you have to build the team,
right?
And then you have to create the team. Like you have to get the Pokemon, the right IVs, the right EVs, and that
I will say though,
grind.
there's a lot of ways to do that without grinding.
I mean, there's still more, but
like, Sierra, if you're down to learn, I can enable you to create any team that you want without grinding. I have a way that you can generate legitimate Pokemon that are competitively usable and not, recognizable as having been like, generated, which is controversial to some people. I don't think it should be.
Very controversial. And
I don't think it should be, and I don't think that's...
And if Nintendo finds out, you will get banned.
It doesn't matter. So they won't find out because they're not... Like, I've played with them online. If they were observable as hacked, then they would know. They would flag... it would flag online when you try to play online. That's how it works.
I guess if you're doing it casually, it's worth rolling the dice.
Let me make this point.
Going to like a tournament.
I don't think it matters. There are literally multiple competitive players that have won tournaments that don't make their own Pokemon. That they have somebody else do the grinding in-game and then supply them with the teams that they use. That's literally no different. Like, you're not winning the game because you grinded. You're winning the game because you are the best competitive player and the best thinker, right? It's like the idea. It's like it'd be like saying if like, oh, the only legitimate way to play chess is you have to carve all your own pieces. It's like it's silly. Like it. That's my opinion. And I know it's controversial, but I stand by it, and I don't think it matters at all. If I found out tomorrow that Wolf Gluck had generated the Pokemon he used to go to Worlds, right? Like, I don't give a shit. Like, he didn't win because the Pokemon were better or had better stats. Every person that knows what they're doing is like getting the exact, like, you're getting the stats that you want to get, right? You're either optimizing or you're not optimizing for a specific strategic reason, right? So it's like that's the gamesmanship, is the thinking and the understanding the pieces and reacting to what the meta is or whatever, right? Not sitting and grinding Pokemon. And if that was important, Game Freak wouldn't have given us a bunch of tools to change Pokemon's IVs and they're doing everything they can every generation to streamline that process more and more, because it's ridiculous that you need to basically engage in like generations of eugenics to get Pokemon that are actually competitively viable, right? Like that's the biggest turnoff to competitive Pokemon than anything. That it's like, oh, you want to play the game? Cool. You need to invest a couple hundred hours getting a team together before that. That's why everybody plays Showdown in the first place.
I will say that when I was playing competitive in X and Y, I did that grind, and I traded something for like a 6 IV Ditto, and let me tell you that dude's the MVP. 6 IV Dittos.
I bought a 6 IV Ditto on eBay when the Switch generation started because I needed one, and I was like, I literally found someone on eBay who sold it to me for like $1 and then traded it. I was like, this is one of the sketchiest things I've ever done, but fair enough.
I have a Ditto that is like Japanese, but I think that is for shiny breeding.
Yeah, that's your ideal, is you want a 6 IV shiny Ditto, because then that like increases your chances of getting a shiny Pokemon every time you breed by like a ton. But if you do it my way, you can just toggle if you want it to be shiny. So my way's better.
I like
no shame. No shame.
Button.
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap it up with the big info dump we got on Pokemon Legends ZA. We got a window of late 2025. No firm release date on that. I think
they don't want to announce the release date because they can't say it before the Switch 2 release date comes out.
You could though, because we know it's a Switch game. We know it's not a Switch 2 title, so like it doesn't.
They just don't want to steal thunder.
I guess
either that or like they're really taking their time with this one.
Yeah, to me that reads like they're maybe not super confident that it's going to be done, but we'll see.
Oh goodness.
Either way,
it looks pretty done.
I think it looks pretty good.
Looks great.
I think they're just making sure. They're like, did we check every tree?
I think you're right. I do think that's true, because I think like, obviously like Scarlet and Violet sold really well, but like that was a really big black eye for them, right? Like the fact that Nintendo had to come out and apologize and issue refunds and stuff, I'm sure that they were really not pleased with that, right? Like Nintendo's whole thing is supposed to be quality and trust and all that, and like having one of their flagship programs or titles come out in such a state is like they had to be pretty pissed about that. So I think you're probably right that like they are probably trying to cross their T's and dot their I's and make sure that this game, is performant, right?
Yeah. Because, like, I don't know if y'all were occasionally looking at, like, the main streams chat, but of course, you had 13-year-olds that were like, look, that tree is still bad. Look at that grass.
Yeah, I mean, like, while we were watching it.
Didn't someone say something about the lighting?
Wakahula in the chat was like, yeah, the lighting's still bad, but it looks good. And like, he's right. I mean, the lighting in Pokemon games is dog water, but like,
so they really need to take their time with this.
And it's like, looking at this though, like there really is, I think, it doesn't have the same like jagged edge that some of the previous ones have had, where it's like you have that like I don't know, just like yes, there's a shadow, but it's like, why is that so pixelated? Or like, there's this animation of a Pokemon flying by and it's like it's literally dropping frames, and like you don't see that here, right? Like they're there's some rough edges and stuff. It doesn't look like cutting edge per se, but I think it looks a lot more stable than Scarlet and Violet looked.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Scarlet and Violet had some technical issues, to say the least. Uh, I would rather a game have a few rough edges but run smooth
Yeah.
than, look pretty but then be like 22 frames per second. Especially with the new gameplay mechanics that they have going on here.
Oh my god, I
where
know.
it's kind of like a real-time turn-based battle, something like that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays out because like it is unclear to me if it is at all turn-based or if it's just based on like cooldowns. Because it's like you're actively dodging and stuff, and like the it shows in real time like your Pokemon health, the PP, like all the stuff you're used to, but it's like you're actively responding as things happen and everything like that, which is like obviously way different. So it's like, is it a thing of like you get a turn and while it's your turn, I'm focusing on maneuvering and dodging and then I get to go? Or is it like we're both just going in real time and your abilities are on a cooldown, my abilities are on a cooldown? I think there's a lot of questions there. Like I'm not I don't have a negative reaction to it. Like I think the idea that like they want to continue to differentiate the Legend series and experiment and maybe just have like a new kind of Pokemon game from that that imprint or whatever, that series, whatever you want to call it. That's cool, but it raises a lot of questions of like, how does this feel moment to moment? Like, do all abilities have the same, like, do all moves have the same cooldowns? Like, there's a lot of things here that, like, I guess basically my question is, like, is this going to be a thing where it feels like regular Pokemon, but also I'm moving and dodging? Or is it, like, a more, like, active time RPG kind of feel like something like a Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy VII or whatever, where it's, like, ultimately it's not turn-based and it's not, you're moving in real time all the time, but you're doing, this kind of like faux turn-based combat where it's like, I use this ability and now I have to wait for it to cool down. I use this, I use that, whatever. I have resources I need to manage like MP and whatever, PP in this case.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer right now, like rewinding it, and I'm trying to see if I can find any like bar or anything like that signifies a cooldown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see.
And I don't see one, but it's also we see so little of it.
Oh, wait. I do see it. I kind of. I just paused this one moment, and it looks like they used to move, and then like it went gray, and it's like a bar that's filling up with that move.
Oh,
so
okay. Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm looking at the gameplay footage now. I was looking at the trailer, and that doesn't have that stuff on screen. So that's interesting. Like that's really different. Like that's a very different rhythm of gameplay than what we were used to in Legends Arceus, which again is not a bad thing inherently. This is a thing like a lot of people have been asking for a long time.
Yeah.
So like fair enough. But it raises questions for sure. It's very like, what is this actually going to feel like?
I think the wild encounters make me have a chance of still being turn-based because they singled out that mechanic in the trainer battles.
For battles, right. And when they showed they were like on top of the building and he's like trying to catch a Flaffy and then it attacks with the Chikorita and then throws the ball. And that did seem like not active time, right? Like it was like you did the attack, you throw the ball and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, real quick. How do you guys feel about these starters?
Yeah, let's talk about that. So the starters are we have Chikorita, Totodile, and then Tepig, who is from Gen 4, right?
No, 5.
Oh no, 5. 5, right. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you brought it up. Say things. You have an opinion?
All right. So I just think it's weird that we get 2 Pokemon
from one generation.
Gen 2. Yeah.
It does seem odd. Considering the last gen was a spread of 3 different ones.
Yeah, and I wish they kind of did that. And then also the Pokemon that they selected. Like, if you're going to do 2 from Gen 2, like, you would think that you would have a reason to do that. But, like, do they really need Chikorita and Totodile? No, you just need Totodile.
See, no, that's
real
bullshit. I'm not here for Chikorita disrespect. I'm tired of Chikorita getting hate. Chikorita is awesome. It's a dinosaur. Okay, let's chill out.
Yeah,
on
so
that.
like maybe once
Typhlosion is a
cool...
badger, and everybody acts like he's cooler than Meganium, who is a literal dinosaur flower. I just don't understand it. They're all cool. We don't need to throw shade at champions. They're all champions. Okay.
Yes, we can, and I just did, and I will continue.
Well, and I'm defending it because you're wrong. Now, you
granted, if not if, when they get a Mega Evolution, if Chikorita's Mega is dope, then maybe it will change my opinion.
I think that's the reason,
compared
right?
to Feraligatr, like, come on.
I think that's the reason you got two of them, though, is like, with Cyndaquil getting the I always want to call them Alolan forms, but that's not what it is. It's the regional variant, right? The ghost version. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably just that like they feel like Typhlosion and Chikorita, or I'm sorry, Feraligatr and Meganium are like overdue for a glow up, But I do think I'm with you. I think it's odd. I think it's an odd choice.
Here's the thing. The other thing is like I didn't realize this. Empor does not have a Mega Evolution, but Serperior and Samurott. Wait. No,
Samurott doesn't, but Samurott got the regional form in Legends Arceus. So
yeah.
I guess to your point, that's why it makes sense to do this group, because Typhlosion already got an alternate form. Both of the Gen 4 ones that aren't him got alternate forms. So now we cover his base and we cover Feraligatr and Meganium getting new stuff as well.
I guess like I didn't think that would be a factor because like Charizard does everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was literally trying to look it up during the direct. I'm like, what starters don't have a Mega Evolution? And there was like really no clear resource or list indicating which ones don't. But definitely, like y'all said, definitely Gen 2, for the most part.
Now, I will say that all of Gen 1 and all of Gen 3 already have Mega Evolutions, now that I'm looking back.
Yeah, all of Gen 1 does. I knew all of Gen 3 did. I don't think any other starters have them.
Yeah. And, like, they wouldn't do, like, the Paldea Pokemon because they're just so new. Okay, so, like,
all the Gen 4 starters. Oh, wait. Ew. Ugh. I gotta stop using Google. The first result was like, yes, all the Gen 4 starters have Mega Evolutions. And then it was a photo of the Gen 3 starters Mega Evolutions.
Google's gotten so useless. It's
so bad now.
They say, we got AI, guys. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, keep using
I will
us.
say, if you if there's a tab now, like, how you used to like click to the images tab, there's a tab that's called web, and that'll give you actual search results, so you can use that.
Oh, and it's fucking tucked. Mm-hmm. I found it.
Yeah.
I found it.
So there you go. But yeah, so looking at the full list, yeah, I mean, we have all of Gen 1 and all of Gen 3, and no other starters have Mega Forms. And then in terms of regional variants, I think it's just the ones from last game, right? Like from Arceus, they all got regional variants. So there's that.
So when you take those out of the equation, they have a lot less to pick from, and it starts to make sense.
Yeah, to your point, I think you still probably could have put another Gen 5 Pokemon. Or no, wait, that is the one. A Gen 4 starter, right? Like, they don't have anything.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then 6, right? Like, the Alolan guys, they could all have been...
Yeah.
But, I guess it's just a matter of, like, wanting to prioritize older Pokemon that have not gotten attention, right? Because it's like, those gens are much older, right, than the ones we're talking about.
Yeah, because now that I'm looking at the list of starters, what they're going to do, cut Chikorita and then add Snivy. But if you do that,
there's already a Superior, so you wouldn't do this.
Oh, there's not a Mega Superior, but at that point, then you have...
Wait, isn't there?
There is.
But then you have... then you have 2 Pokemon from Gen 5.
Wait.
At that point, so...
Is there not a Mega Superior? I really thought there was.
The only Pokemon starters that have Mega Evolutions are Gen 1 and Gen...
No, really?
3.
I've been duped.
Yeah, no, I also really thought that there was one.
Sorry, everybody.
Why do I...
Damn, this is why they don't want to do a new evolution. All these are so good.
Well, fair enough. Yeah. So I guess that would be the choice. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's reasonable. I agree with you both that it's strange. I like Chikorita and Totodile, so I'm happy to see them get attention. You know,
Yeah.
Is where I come down on it. Like
they're probably trying to hype up.
It's not
they're
a
not getting
choice.
enough love.
But yeah, I don't think they ever have really. You know,
one thing that I do wish they showed was at least like one new Mega Evolution in the trailer. Or one new regional. I would
have liked to end on that probably, to be like, oh, here's 1 or 2 Mega Evolutions that we're gonna add or whatever, just as like a nod. But yeah, I mean, I think Sierra made the point on the stream where it's like by the time the game comes out, you're gonna be fucking sick of how much information they've given you. Right? Like that's their vibe, is like the drip feed. It's like, okay, here's all the big changes. Now we're gonna drip feed Pokemon, and here's a new Mega, here's a new regional, here's a new this, here's a new that.
I'll never forget, like, for either Scarlet and Violet or Sword and Shield, I was like, I already know the whole generation.
Yeah.
By the time the game is out, there's no surprises. There's no like that first encounter in the game, seeing it for the first time type of moment. I'm like, I know it all.
Yeah.
Now.
There comes a point in every game where I stop looking at the announcements because I'm like, I would actually like to see one of these things in the wild and have like a moment, you know? But I'm with you. I could have done with 1 Mega for sure. It would have been cool to just to, you know,
or
acknowledge the fact that there were going to be new ones.
Yeah, or even just like one regional Pokemon to confirm that this game will have regional, because we still don't know that for sure. I'd bet money on it, but we don't know 100%.
Yeah. Did y'all see that like 10-second tease with the Rotom phone at the very end?
Yeah.
Of this new segment. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. What do you make of it?
I think it is hinting that like there is online competitive play.
Okay. Ooh. Like you think that's interesting. I wonder if that'll connect to this app.
Let me look up something real quick.
Oh, maybe that's how you do that. Maybe that's how you segment it. Maybe it's in the whatever the current gen is where you do current gen competitive, and then everything else happens on this other app or something.
So let's see. The Rotom phone was introduced in Sword and Shield. I'm not sure if that means anything, because it has been in other games since. But that's just a thought.
Yeah, and like it was like the Rotom. I don't know why, but it was a dark room. I'm like, what is going on? What is the Rotom phone like coming to this person in the middle of the night to be like, hey, wake up, competition?
Yeah, because it's weird, because it's like a post-credit scene. It's like the trailer ends and then it's like it fades back in and you're in it. It's nighttime in a dark room, and then it like jumps in your face and then flips.
Oh, so it does have something that says, this is a promotional match announcement. So some sort of like competition or battle does make sense here. But
yeah, I wonder.
It's such a nothing burger. Like, why are you even putting it in there?
Yeah, so it's either gonna be something like in ZA or like promotional leading up to the game. In Scarlet and Violet, you'll be able to like, I don't know, something with Gen 5 or 4. 6? I forget.
They did just do that thing with the phone cases, right? Like you get a phone case as part of the anniversary in Scarlet Violet. We forgot to mention that, so maybe that's. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that meant they were going to put red, green, blue on Nintendo Online, and I was wrong.
One day they'll have to, right? Right?
For real.
Honestly, that could be a next year thing for the 30th. That probably makes the most sense.
I've been trying so hard to go back and play the older games. I asked for an Ambernick for Christmas, and that was my mistake. So I started playing Emerald, and like there's the save state like just didn't work properly. And
we gotta get you a Steam Deck, bud.
They're $500. I want one, but they're so expensive.
Real talk. If you want to buy my Steam Deck, hit me up. I will give you the good discount.
Okay, I will let you know.
I barely use my Steam Deck, so
wait, it's like a you don't want it?
He's crazy.
I don't use it.
He's crazy.
I got it over a year ago and I don't use it.
Why?
No, I got a vocal pedal that I bought in 2011 that I haven't used. So
you're in good company.
Like, right. So I'm like, why would it's mine? Why would I like what if I What if I just happen to need it like one time? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not good at like parting with things.
Yeah,
even if I need
we
the
are cut from
money.
the same cloth in that regard.
Yeah, but I mean, like we'll talk off the stream. We'll
Okay.
talk business, but
Okay.
we'll work it out. But
So
let's see.
I gotta be honest with you. I had a train of thought that I was, and now I'm on all I can think about
We were
is Sierra
talking
getting a Steam
about-
Deck.
Gens,
Wrong podcast.
Yeah.
Gens 1 through 3, ROMs, emulation. I got it.
Right. There you go. Oh, that's what we were talking about. Yeah. Yeah, we got to get you hooked up because I want to get you playing Pokemon Legacy. Pokemon Yellow Legacy was on my Game of the Year list this year. It's a ROM hack that is like just like a update of of Yellow version. Excuse me.
I thought you
And,
said 11.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gen Yellow and then said Gen 11. So it's we're up early today. But yeah, it's the world of Pokemon ROM hacks is something that you're gonna want to get into. It's a good
I know
time.
Doc is always telling me.
They're something else.
I'm just lazy.
Yeah, I just looked up Pokemon Yellow Legacy. That was my first Pokemon game, Yellow.
So maybe you should play it on your
Me too.
Steam Deck, you son of a bitch.
Maybe.
And then you can buy my extra one, Sierra, because I got two.
you got
Again.
two.
Yeah, I
Why
got the
would you just
OLED.
keep the 2?
That's what I'm doing. I just have it.
I was looking at the Lenovo, which is like the
The
whatever
Legion Go?
device it's gonna launch with SteamOS.
Yeah.
But that's also really expensive. I gotta focus on buying the Switch 2 this year and Twice tickets. So that's $1,000 down the hole. Dude, combined.
Hey yo, I got tickets to see Kendrick on in a couple of months.
Yeah, I guess we're talking about concert tickets that we're spending too much money on, and that's why I'll end it today because tomorrow the last date of the Wu-Tang Clan's farewell tour is in Philly, and I'm buying those shits tomorrow, and I'm about to
fuck
spend
yeah.
way too much money.
Hey yo,
Enjoy that.
what?
Yeah, I'm about to.
What?
It's
Them. He plays when you go see them. He's the guy that's gonna play the Asuka Neon Genesis Evangelion guitar.
that's awesome.
I don't want to derail this conversation
Any more than we already have.
As fuck. But I had no idea the Wu-Tang Clan was breaking up. They're doing a farewell tour with Run the Jewels.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
cool. I don't think
That's
that
wild.
it's.
That's
I don't
very
think that
sad.
they're breaking
Actually,
up.
I
I
need
think
to-
that they're just saying that they're not going to
some
tour
brain got
anymore.
money,
They
though.
may
Wait,
one day reunite.
I don't know
for
why,
another
but you're
record.
muted.
Oh,
So everything you just said, I have no idea.
I didn't know he was talking. Nope, still can't. I can see
What
the
is
laugh and the
happening?
joy in your eyes, but you're completely muted. I miss you, bro. Come back.
okay. I think my mic is still
No.
live. So
No.
Nope.
okay, hold on one second. I think
Okay.
my mic is still live in the recording, so I'm just gonna say goodbye. It was a great episode. We love you. Bye. Okay, you guys wave
I just
goodbye.
see him going like,
Oh.
Wave goodbye. Wave goodbye.
Oh.
Okay.
no, I